Yo, what's good? Skano. Appreciate you people, man. Give them their flowers while they're here. I'm at the plaza making a couple runs. I come out facility and it's an elderly dude, sitting on a bench in the walkway, or whatever you call it. And it's people around him. Got a small crowd of people around him. So apparently this guy went into cardiac arrest. I saw that he had urinated on himself, and so obviously dude was having, just from what I can gather briefly, I didn't stop and but just passing by and the conversation that was going on, the dude has some type of medical event, and they were asking people if he was here alone, if anyone had seen, just trying to figure out, until 911 arrived or whatever. And it just got me to thinking, we take we take a lot for granted. Well, I should speak for myself. You know, me and my father was super close. I've never been closer to nobody than my father. Not my wife, nobody. And but I just didn't realize how important dude was, you know. And hindsight is 2020, but it shouldn't take that. But we had a complicated relationship. I'm not gonna get all into that, but it was sort of like I wouldn't say a love hate thing, but it was contentious. So as soon as I got old enough to get to some money, or I actually found me a chick that was older than me that had her own place, and I'm out. But I'm looking back, man, and I'm like, because my father and I mean, he passed when I was 27. I think I was 25, actually. 25, 27, some of that nature. He got cancer probably about 2 years prior to that. But, I'm in so much going on in my life, and I'm just not, and like I said, me and him had become not distant, but I was kind of like giving him the stiff arm. And like I said, it was a complicated relationship, but he held my son one time. My son was in diapers. He held him one time, briefly. And at this point, he already, was in the late stages of, I didn't know that, but I knew dude was sick, but I knew he had cancer, but I didn't know it was coming that quick, tumors, so I'm thinking, oh, well, tumors, they cut that up out of you, but he's, oh no, I'm not letting them cut on me. Actually, they were on his spine. He had a couple on his spine, a couple in his thigh. They were, tumors, multiple tumors spread around. But he was still ripping and running, wouldn't sit down, wouldn't. Anyway, so the one on his spine is the one that eventually ended up, because he didn't want them operating around his spine, which I understand. And that, it is what it is. So, a long story short, I seen dude once before he passed, like 2 weeks before he passed. He was in Indy at this time. I went out to Indy to see him. He wanted me to stay. I couldn't stay, man. I got to get back to Cleveland. I got things. I wanted to stay, but I couldn't stay. It's a hell of a choice to have to make. But anyway, I'm like, I'll get back up here as soon as I can. And I really intended to, but I got a call about 2 weeks later. It was a done deal, And it took a while before it really settled in, All this to say, man, it was a part of me, as much as I don't want to admit this, because my father was controlling. He was, domineering. He was not a, I wouldn't say he was abusive. He was just controlling, very controlling. And I was defiant, stubborn. It was just oil and water, man. So once I got a certain age, puberty, start smelling myself. We start butting heads. I know I'm in the streets, 14, 15, 16, it's over. There ain't nothing dude could tell me anymore. As far as, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, regardless of what anyone thinks. I'm in that phase. And so we kind of, and y'all don't realize, man, well, some of you probably do. Just to have one conversation, not nothing deep, not nothing complex, just a simple conversation with dude, And I'm not looking for sympathy. What I want to express, give your people their flowers while they're here. Because we tend to think that my father was an older dude, so I should have been more cognizant of this. But we tend to, parents tend to get put up on the shelf after, kids reach a certain age. They become almost an afterthought. And I'm not saying, if it don't apply, let it fly. But put up on the shelf and and I understand it's life, and we go about our life. We move on, as far as becoming adults and, all the things that come with that, family, woo-woo, the hustle, all that. But give them their flowers while they're here, man. One conversation, one ride, just a ride. We didn't even have to say much, And but there are questions that I have, so many questions that I'll never get to ask. But because I took it for granted. The closest person to me in my life, and I, let little situations, and at the end of the day, man, I'm looking back at it, it wasn't that serious, and it usually never is. I won't say never, but regardless of what your parents got going on, man, if they're not abusing you, you know what I'm saying? Even if they neglect you, because sometimes, parents get caught up in different lifestyles and they are not attentive as they should be, or they're not there like they should be. And, when you're in a certain phase of your life, you can kind of latch on to those animosities and those resentments and let that turn into something more than what it is, man. And, just one conversation. So like I'm saying, man, and like and I don't want to, and I find myself sometimes thinking in regard to my own kids who are now adults, well, except for my youngest, by the other baby mama, but they're grown now and they're doing their own thing, and time goes by, you don't hear from people, and I understand, but certain people can get in their feelings about it, and I hear people, at my place of occupation, complaining about their adult kids who never check in on them, they never hear from them. These are people they put through college, or just been there every step of the way, and they can't get so much as a fuck you, a text. Woo-woo. And like I said, it's life, man. We get caught up in life, but I think a lot of times we just tend to take things for granted, Or maybe we just don't have use. Some of us just don't have use for things that we cannot use. You get what I'm saying? And like I said, if it don't apply, let it fly. But don't take it for granted. If you are close to your parents, I don't need to, obviously, this. But even then, man, people are close and they may not necessarily, like me and my father wasn't expressive. We didn't hug. We didn't, tell your people you love them, man. And they know it. It don't have to be. We know these things, but so what? Tell them anyway. There'll come a time when you wish you could tell them. Come a time where you wish you could hear them, you know, bitching or griping or, getting at you about, you know, something that they, have been lecturing you about. And typically you just like, here we go with the woo woo. And I would embrace that. I'm saying right now, I would embrace that. Even to hear dude, but like I said, man, don't wait until your parents get old and sickly. If they're fortunate enough to, you know, if you're fortunate enough to outlive them, that is. Don't wait, man. And don't put them up on the shelf, because they may not say much. They may not mention it at all. And the people that this applies to, you know what I'm saying? Too much time has went by since the last time you checked in on your people. And like I said, man, we take things for granted. I'll get around to it this weekend or, tomorrow. Tomorrow ain't promised. And of course, we know these things, but the worst thing is to have a fallout with somebody you really close to, especially a parent, man, who nurture you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to let, at the end of the day, to let what amount to trivial matters. Because you'd be surprised how serious something may seem in that moment. After time goes by, and it's not that serious. And one of the worst regrets I have is not patching it up with my father. Like, I mean, we were on speaking terms. It wasn't like we were like, but it wasn't, and it was mostly because of me holding grudges against him for certain things that transpired in my childhood, and certain things that he went about, the way he handled certain things, and that put me in a certain situation. But he was just, and as I became a man and I began to grow a little wiser, I looked at things in a different perspective, man. And I'm not gonna lie, man. One of the worst regrets is to have somebody that you care about, that you can no longer, that you did not get on the right terms with them before, because obviously there's no way to, recross that bridge. So, like I said, man, I don't want to go on and on about it, but I do think a lot of us do tend to take things for granted. Our children, although personally I have to say I don't fall in that category, but there have been spouses, friends I've had, because I'm selfish in that way, selfish with my time. I give you anything I got if you need it, But when it comes to my time, man, I'm a very private person. I'm a very, and I was even that way in my marriage. That's partly why it didn't work. And just selfish, man. Just selfish in that way. And over the years, friends that have passed on, whether it be from the streets or whether it be from, I won't say natural causes because death ain't natural, but you know what I'm saying. And it's like, damn, I meant to. Don't mean to do it, man. If it's been somebody in you that you know what I'm saying? Somebody close to you, family, man. Whether it's blood, whoever. And you haven't gotten at this person in a while and it crossed your mind, do it. Do it. Because it may not be tomorrow. It may not be it next time. And you're going to be walking around carrying that shit. If you care, Because some of y'all are waiting on your parents to pass so you can get that insurance money. Don't lie. But really, man, don't wait. Because it will be one of the worst regrets you ever had. Trust me. So give your people their flowers now. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with just walking in, hugging your people around their neck. I wish I could. I wish I could give my father a hug. We never did that type of shit. But I would, so cherish your parents, man. Cherish them. And your grandparents. That's the bloodline. And Like I said, our days are numbered, so ain't no telling when. Don't wait. 216 Skano. You already know.